Good morning. I wanted to share some tips and options for home practice. Yoga practice is a broad spectrum, and all yoga is about self-realization or tapping into your inner truth, being in the moment, being present, and all of these terms I feel are useful in managing our stress and helping us be as healthy as possible. So I hope these tips are helpful for you today if you're doing some home practice over the next few weeks. In particular, one of the movements I've been focusing on in my classes in the prior weeks is where we're moving from and straight spine versus neutral spine. Our spine doesn't have a completely straight position. There's curves in the low back, the mid back, and the neck. The curves are a natural spine. So we can utilize these references, neutral spine and straight, in something like folding forward. So if I were to fold forward with a fairly neutral spine, yet tuning in with core strength, so I'm trying to be straight as I fold forward rather than rounding. And in my yoga practice, noticing what is moving. And to keep my spine more neutral, closer to straight versus lots of rounding, I find it useful to have the hips back and visualizing more of an air deadlift kind of position. So I'm not going to be lifting anything heavy, but I am utilizing a position that feels strong for my body. And when I can't fold forward anymore with my straighter spine, my more neutral spine, I am going to allow my spine to round and hang. I'm not lifting something heavy. There's no demand on my spine. So if this rounded position feels good, I'm going to enjoy a deep breath here. Or more. When I make my transition back upright, there is demand. There is leverage that I need to manage, right? Gravity's pulling on my body. So I'm going to work in reverse. I'm going to get a straighter spine. It might not be ruler straight, but that's a good visual for me. Neutral spine might be difficult to imagine, but a straighter spine could be a good image. And I'm drawing in with my core, and I'm trying to find that strong position. I could have my hands on my legs if I need a little more support, and then once I feel that, then I'm going to use the stronger muscles of the hips and the legs to bring me upright. When I get more comfortable with these movements and what ranges of movement are comfortable for my body, I could add increased leverage and demand, which will require more core strength and stability to stay strong through my spine. For example, if I were to reach up and fold forward, there's a lot more demand right here. And then again, when my range of movement becomes a little more restricted, I'm releasing the demand and letting my spine relax. From here, I could walk my hands out and or feet, get towards a hands and knees position. There's many wonderful positions that we can work with once we get to the floor or hands and knees. Classic one is the rounding and arching, often called cat, like a little Halloween cat, and cow, like if you've seen a older cow out in the field, they might have a sway back. So we don't actually want to have a sway back. That would look like, so instead of that kind of position, I want you to keep pressing through the hands, right? Press, be strong in the arms, And I'm trying to reach long from hip to head and manage how much arch I have. I do try to focus more arch in the upper back and the thoracic area rather than the low back. So keeping the low belly in somewhat to help manage the low back bend. Again, once you get to hands and knees, you could come to sitting for a variety of seated postures, or to simply get to a sitting position for some focused breathing, some meditation. Any kind of focused inward breathing, movement, or sitting still is good yoga practice to help you calm your nervous system and to work internally. We have no control of everything outside of our body, and if we don't work on the control inside of our own body, we won't have control of that either. So it doesn't matter if you think you're good at yoga or if you know if you're breathing correctly. It's the inner awareness. It's the work of tuning in and noticing how your breathing feels. And in each moment that you notice how your breathing is feeling, you are doing yoga. You are tuning into your inner truth. So I hope that's helpful, and I want to keep supporting your home practice if you're needing to do some home practice, and feel free to leave me comments if there are particular postures or movements that you would like some support for your home practice.